Joined by Charlee Adams, of course, end of the season. What's been your thoughts on this season?
Obviously, on a personal note, didn't start too well with my injury, but I've had a really good end to the season. But so has the team. I think obviously the circumstances on and off the pitch everyone knows about, but I've never seen like a togetherness considering what's happened to get together and pull out results, and obviously just miss out on the playoffs. Yeah,
and of course you mentioned about your injury. How tough was it actually to try and come back?
Yeah, it's always hard, especially when I was in and out of pre-season. You always want a good solid pre-season, so to come in and out, it was always, because I was trying to continue and things weren't going right, but yeah, it's tough, so I had to wait my time because the lads were in really good form towards the beginning of the season, but it is what it is, so just had to stay strong and just stay with it.
Yeah, and of course there's been a few departures in the squad, unfortunately due to circumstances that it had to happen, but did you sort of see that as a chance for yourself to come into the team?
Yeah, I think a few of us would see it as a chance to come in the team because we had such a big squad, and obviously when people had to get obviously sold, as you said, whatever, it allowed others to showcase what they're about and prove to people what they're about as well. So yeah, I mean, I didn't have to come back in the team, but obviously I got chosen to come back in the team and put in performances and do well for the team.
Yeah, and personally, how did you cope with obviously the off?
Well, obviously it's hard, but we don't really know much about it, so just not the ins and outs. So we just had to, obviously, as I said, stick together, the togetherness of the team, and just concentrate on what's going on the pitch. So we just put it to the back of our minds and what's going on the pitch, and just put in performances.
Yeah, and after your injury, when you was back fit, did you sort of, that time period till you were actually selected, did you find that quite frustrating as well?
Yeah, but every player, when they're not playing, is frustrated. So I just wanted to play games. So for me to get a really good run of games, the last third of the season, it's good for me going into the summer as well. So it's positive for me.
Yeah, and in that last third of the season, the consistency, how have you sort of found that?
Yeah, as I said, like we stuck together. We found with the players that weren't playing coming to the team, I think we found a way of us being positive going forward. Our forward play was really good, taking it to teams, and we obviously got some good results, and we just obviously slipped up with a couple of results that we didn't get in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, and in your position there's been quite a few rotating around. Of course we've seen Craig Robson play there, we've had Matt Robinson, but in the last few games we've seen you pair up with Andre Boucard. How have you sort of found that?
Yeah, obviously we've got a few midfielders here, so but the last few games, me and Books, I think I've said this before, we're both, I'd say, ball playing midfielders, but I'd like to say that I'd like to do the other side of the game. Books puts himself about as well, but the last obviously 15 games we've worked really well together, both on and off the ball, and allowed, I'd say, our front players to go and express themselves. As I said, going forward, been really good. So for us to protect the back four and defensively, allowed them to go and do what they wanted to do, and yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and out of the games that you've played in, is there any that have stood out for yourself?
I'd say when I first come back in, I'd say the Torquay game we were very good away. That was kind of the turning point really from obviously what's going on off the pitch, sorry, and from then on I think we stuck together. But that performance, I'd say, was up there. There's a few performances up there. That would be one of them to really kick-start our time.
Yeah, and away to FC Halifax Town, you scored a goal.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on?
I won't really call it my goal, but it's gone down as my goal. Yeah, obviously it's nice to just get on the score sheet, but we was obviously disappointed result that game, considering going 1-0 up. But it's nice. Obviously, I'd like to pop up with a few more goals, but I haven't been able to play as much as I wanted this year. So yeah, it's what it is.
Yeah, and we've seen you've been called up to the England C squad. You'll be playing again as well against Ireland soon. What's it like, of course, being called up?
Yeah, obviously it's great. It's obviously any team to represent your country, it's a great feeling. So to get called up before was good. It was a good few days away to meet other lads like in the league, to see what they're about, how they are in training and games, etc. So obviously I've got another call up coming in May with a couple of the other lads. So I'll go to Ireland, obviously looking to do well again and enjoy it.
Yeah, and you've been called up alongside Fajiro Kabir and Nick Pennell. Must be great in terms of the club having 3 players go to
I think that shows obviously what we've been about. As I said, the last 15-20 games of the season, obviously Faye's popped up with some really important goals, and I think, as you said, when people have left, I think he's another one where he's expressed himself and he's gone on to another level since others have departed. But sometimes you need that in football. So, and obviously Pens, he's put in some good performances centre half. He's played left back this year. So yeah, it's positive for the club. Obviously we can represent the country. So yeah.
Yeah, and are you sort of gutted not making the playoffs alongside the team so close at the end?
Obviously we are gutted to be so close, considering how things have gone off the pitch. But we never held nothing back. We gave it a right go, considering like what's happened. So we can only see the positives, and obviously the gaffer said this is probably the toughest season he's been involved in. So obviously I'm still young, so I don't know what's to come, but it's been tough, but it's been positive to finish on a high. Just obviously disappointing to not get in the playoffs.
Yeah, and of course previously you played for Lincoln City, but in sort of briefly comparing it, how has it been tougher this season, would you say, in the National League with Dagenham and Redbridge?
Yeah, as I said, it's been tough because of the circumstances, but obviously when I was there on loan a few years ago, we was kind of like mid-table, so it's one of them where we wasn't in the playoffs, we wasn't playing for anything really. But obviously at the end of this year we was fighting to get in the playoffs till the last 1-2 games, or the last game. So yeah, it was different, but I suppose it's just a different circumstance.
Yeah, and have you got any plans, of course, during the break?
Enjoy holidays first, have a nice break, but obviously I'll have to keep ticking over, as you said, because we go away to Dublin. But yeah, just enjoy some time away, spend it with my family and some friends, and recharge the batteries and go again.